Hey guys, TheGamingGeek here, and welcome to some weird news. Haven't done it in a few weeks, but found some really good topics to talk about. Now, any new people that are not sure what weird news is, it's sort of in the title, but I select a few weird news topics that I've seen on the internet in the past week and share them with you for your enjoyment. Now, the first article is to do with a man who was sitting on the toilet and was attacked by a fox. Now, this guy is called Anthony Schofield, and he was attacked at his Catford home last week as he was sitting on the toilet. The unemployed carpenter claims that he was quietly going about his business when a fox burst into the bathroom. He was led on a frantic chase around the living room by the creature, which went on to maul his partner and pet cat. Mr. Schofield told the new shopper, "I didn't even have time to wipe myself." The 49-year-old was enjoying a quiet day at home when the fox paid a surprise visit and attacked him and his cat, Jessie. He said it had the cat around the neck. She was in shock, bleeding from her face. It locked itself onto my arm, but still had the cat as well. There was blood everywhere. It was like a struggle for my life. His partner, Tanny Chappell, 35, tried to help, but had her finger bitten by the confident canid. Mr. Schofield was only able to free himself after he dragged the fox outside, its teeth still embedded in his arm. The unemployed carpenter was treated at the hospital for cuts and bruises, but his 14-year-old rescue cat did not fare so well. Having sustained facial injuries, she now refuses to go into the living room. Mr. Schofield added, "It was so frightening, it was like a wild animal." Lewisham Council recommends residents secure their rubbish, ensure sheds and garbages have concrete bases, and refrain from feeding the animals to avoid any fox problems. Now, you can either believe that this is a true news story or it's not. Now, just because it's in the news doesn't mean it's absolutely true, because there's a lot of comments going about this news story saying it's fake. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Either way, what a story it is to tell someone. I would hate for that to happen to me. And, if it is true, it does show that, wild animals are wild animals and they can't really be trusted. And people and wild animals don't always mix the best. So, it could be true, it could be false. I'm going to leave it there to let you guys decide for yourself. And let's move on with the next topic. Now, this next one really shows where we get the weird news title from. This one is a bit funny and weird at the same time. Now, a German tourist panicked when he got his manhood stuck in a sex toy and sought medical help. Doctors in Ibiza, lacking the right tools, could not free him from the steel metal ring, so firefighters with buzzsaws were called. It took them 2 hours and 2 battery changes to finish the job, according to Spain's The Local, with the procedure being complicated by the fact that the man was getting more swollen over time. It is not known how the 51-year-old managed to reach Ibiza's Can Misses hospital, where he was discharged from last week, but somehow he made it there, and somehow he got himself stuck in it. That's all I have to say on the topic, really. I think it's quite amusing. And there's a lesson to be learnt there. Don't mess with sex toys. They can end you in hospital. And I'm sure it was very awkward for him and very awkward for the doctors as well. But I'm sure it's not the first time that something like this has happened that someone in that hospital has had to deal with something like that. I'm sure these things have happened quite a few times. So it's still quite funny. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll move on to the next topic. Now, the third and final news topic is to do with a man's Legoland dream being crushed after being turned away because he was not accompanied by a young child. Now, a 63-year-old man's dream of going to Legoland had been crushed after he was denied entry because he didn't have a young child with him. Now, John, I'm not going to say his last name because I've tried to on a few takes and it didn't go too well. So, John from Ontario, Canada, had wanted to visit the attraction in Toronto after he'd become a fan of the toy bricks when he bought them for his children when they were younger. But when he rocked up at the location with his daughter, Nicole Sunt, whatever the last name is, they were turned away because they weren't with someone that was under the age of 12. They wouldn't let us go in, so we asked to see a manager, he said. 5 minutes later, the employee came back and said the manager was too busy to see them, but that their policy was that they weren't allowed in without a child that was under the age of 12, and there was nothing they could do about it. He and his daughter were left disappointed, and he had to make their way on a 3-car 3-hour car journey back to Windsor. He said he was crushed. My dad is 63 years old. He was devastated. The look on his face was like a child not getting the gift at Christmas that they want. He felt discriminated against because he was a senior citizen who happens to like Lego. Laura Hannaford, marketing manager at the Toronto Legoland, defended the company's rule of having to have a child with you, saying it was there in place to protect the families and children that visit. Now, I can sort of understand the age restriction. He really should have checked before going. I mean, just check these sort of things if you're not sure. At the same time, I can see both ends of the story. I can see, at the end of the day, he's just a guy that wants to go to Legoland. All right, some people in the comments of this article said he could have been a paedophile. Possible. He may not have been, but if this rule wasn't in place, paedophiles could have maybe got in, and caused some harm. Because it is a place primarily for young kids, And yes, all right, you like Lego and you wanted to go, but it is a place for young kids, and they want to try and make that as a safe environment as possible. So I can see both ends of the story. I'm sort of split in the middle on how I feel on either side. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But that's all I have for you in the weird news section this week. There is a link in the description to every article I have talked about. Let me know what you think on each one of them in the comment section down below. Like the video if you did find them interesting, and I'll see you on the next video. But as always, drink tea and game on.